Guys, what is up? It's a Kansas Kid, and I want to talk about a video that I just put out a little bit ago, and it was talking about don't listen to silver stackers, and it brought up some really good topics, that were mentioned by other people, and the basis of what I was trying to say was don't listen to what I do, don't listen to what others do. Figure out why you want to stack silver and why you want to, accumulate and things like that for whatever scenario, because there's a lot of scenarios and a lot of situations that would make someone want to hold, physical metals. But it brought up Shtf, silver for when shit hits the fan, and what it is good for and how to use that. Multiple things were said to me that made me kind of think. Now, don't get me wrong, because it was taken out of context, and people were kind of putting words in my mouth, and they were saying that I said that silver would not be good for a SHTF situation, and I never said that. I said that is why that's not why I stack. I don't stack for that reason. But if it did come up, there it is. So, one comment to start with said, well, you're not going to take that silver bar down to the grocery store and buy your groceries. And they're like, yep, you're absolutely right. So I'm thinking what he was referring to was, you can take constitutional silver, stuff like that, your fractional stuff, to the store and use it. And so my first thought was, well, if you're taking constitutional silver to the store, shouldn't you just be stacking cash in regular, like, modern coinage? Because the store is not just going to stop, taking all money that is, post 1964. That's just not going to happen. If they're still open in that type of scenario, they are not going to take silver coins only. That's absolutely ridiculous. So it would be better to stack cash for that scenario, and don't spend your silver coinage at the store. And then another question or another comment was mentioned, well, whenever you barter, you want to have the constitutional silver. You want to have, stuff that is the, struck by the U.S. Mint coinage. And here's my thing. So I was thinking about that as well. I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense. But as a silver stacker myself, if someone came up to me and they wanted a container of tomatoes for my garden, and they had a silver bar, I'm not going to be like, no, I'm not taking that silver bar, sorry, because it's not in coins. If there's any type of value there, if and you try to accumulate silver, you would take any silver that you could get your hands on. If silver was relevant. Another thing is they talk a lot about, how much of a small percentage of people stack silver. How much of a small percentage of the population stack silver, collect silver. So with that small percentage, with how much cash is out there and how much change is out there, and if you have some type of collapse and people are, robbing stores and smashing ATMs and stuff like that, there's going to be more cash and more regular coinage out in circulation. And that's what people know right now. People know, cash and coins. It's not like shit's going to hit the fan and like all the modern money is going to disappear. Now, I'm not saying it's worth anything. Not at all. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying the majority of the population is still going to be using cash and coinage as a means of swapping items. It's not just going to be, bullets and silver and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I think that those things are going to be a lot more prevalent, and as time goes on, people will realize that the modern cash and stuff is not, worth anything. But starting off, it's not just going to be like, oh, a flip of a switch and it's gone. And if you think that, you need to probably rethink what you're thinking. Because that's not how it's going to work. Should you have silver for if SHTF happens? Absolutely, I think you should. But the idea of having a certain type, or that's the only means of currency there is completely ridiculous. It is completely ridiculous. Because if that's the case, then you look at gold, and the price of gold has gone up. So anyone holding even fractional gold, depending on what you're wanting, it's going to be very, 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 very few people that are willing and dealing in gold. Very few people. Let alone silver is going to be very few, because not everyone has it. Say, I don't know, I'm just throwing a weird number out there, but say 1 in 25 people. So you got to pass up 25 people to deal with one person if you have silver. You know what I'm saying? Not saying it's not good to be prepared and have that in your arsenal of stuff, but there's so many more things that are way more important. If that's the idea you're having, if you're thinking of an SHTF scenario. And this is the reason why I don't stack silver for, a doom and gloom scenario. Doesn't make any sense to me. Am I right? Probably not. Am I wrong? I don't think so in my mind. But if you really stop and think about it and think how everything works in the world, it's, and this right here is the reason. This is why I'm saying this is the reason why you don't listen to silver stackers. I personally know people, they're like, I got into silver stacking and all I collected was, dimes and quarters and, and Morgan dollars, because that's what, the doomsday preppers told me to do. This is what I need. That is why I'm saying don't listen to silver stackers. Just like people that think that, they have to have silver for, end of the world scenario or whatever, or a major disruption in the world. Just like that they don't, think that there's any other use for it besides, bartering and stuff like that. I think there's a lot more uses to it. And I think that just having, the mindset of don't listen to other people, don't listen to what they do, don't listen to what I do, because people are like, silver is not going to be good for any type of a percent of your retirement. Even if silver, your stack is 5% of your retirement, they're like, and I don't know, maybe those people don't even believe in having any type of retirement because they're just going to live off the land. I don't know. And that's a whole different mindset to have. But, this is why I don't think that silver is going to be used for an SHTF scenario. That's why it's not at the top of my list. It's way, way, way down, probably at the very bottom of my list of what it would be used for. Now, another comment is made, hey, be prepared for all scenarios, and that's where I'm at. Be prepared for all scenarios. That is where I'm at. Whenever I started prepping, whenever I started getting stuff ready, probably about 6 or 7 years, I always had, accumulated metals in the back of my mind, but it probably took 6 or 7 years before I got there, because there were so many other things I wanted to get ready. There were so many other things I wanted to be prepared on that were way more important. And there are a lot more things that are way more important. And you got to build to that. You got to get to that point. And once you do, then I was like, okay, well then, I have other things to look at. But like I said, it goes back to it was not for a prepping scenario. I just had all my preps ready before I started stacking. So anyway, guys, just a quick chat, quick talk, and just food for thought. Agree, disagree? Let me know what you think, guys. I appreciate your time. I'll talk to you soon.